Are you ready to transform your life and embrace positivity every single day? Join us for an extraordinary webinar, How to Live 365 Days Positively. Discover the secrets to unlock a positive mindset, overcome challenges, and lead a life with joy and purpose. We'll delve into powerful techniques backed by science to rewire your brain for positivity. This webinar can change your life. Wake up every day with a new sense of purpose. We'll cover gratitude practices, mindfulness exercises, and actionable steps to cultivate positivity in every aspect of your life. Don't miss this opportunity to embark on a year-long journey of positivity and personal growth. Let's make every day count. Join us at How to Live 365 Days Positively and let positivity be your guiding light. Reserve your spot today and step into a brighter, more positive future.
We all want to live positively, and that is perhaps every time we see that the most trending video is always on positivity. But have you ever wondered that why exactly we cannot continue this positivity in our life? Every time why the positivity is just like a wave of a sea. One moment it is up, the next moment it is down. So if you really want to get answer to that, you must watch today's webinar, which is on how to live 365 days of a year positively. I think we all want to remain positive and we know how to remain positive, but it's sometimes really very impulsive that we cannot really remain positive, or sometimes we can say that we get so much attracted by situation that our mind really cannot control that. So we have to understand that what exactly we can do to make sure that we really remain positive. There are so many difficult times in our life. We know that we should be positive, but the next moment we cannot control our emotion and we become negative. So we would really try to understand that how exactly we can balance our emotion and what exactly it takes to really remain positive in life. So my friends, without making much delay, let's join into today's webinar to watch what exactly we should do to really remain positive in our life, so that every time we can be positively focused in our work and we can always get success, which is really very desired. Welcome you all once again to the PMA session. We are back once again with an interesting and a power-packed webinar. And this time we have really brought something which is very close to our heart: how to live positive. We all know that we have to be positive. And perhaps that is the reason the most trending topic, if you come across most of the social sites or YouTube or any other forums, you will always find people talk about being positive. And an irony, during the pandemic, when people said that we are positive, we are all afraid, because positive that time was really a very negative word. But still, we have to be positive. We have to be positive for the fact that we are alive. We have to be positive for the fact that we have to open up our eyes next morning, if we are really blessed enough. But what exactly we are doing to remain positive? That's a question for all of us. That's a thought we all want to understand, that how we really can live in a way which is just not only living, but a positive living. And for this, we have our guest speakers who are really the masters in this field, in this profession of transforming people, facilitating people to live a purposeful life, to make them feel that how exactly there is a better cause to live for tomorrow and to leap ahead for an opportunity. But all these things can happen when we are having the positivity in the core of our heart. And for that, we have our honorable guest speakers.
today who are going to shed more light into this topic, and they're going to take it further and tell us how exactly we can really become positive in our endeavors. So I welcome our first guest speaker, Mr. Souvik Biswas, who is an entrepreneur, facilitator, trainer, mentor, and of course, he is a multi-talented person. So whatever I say, I think I would be saying less for him, but he has a persona who is more of a poet. He is an artist, and also so many others shades of his personality, which I have not even probably explored or have seen. So I think he is there today, who is going to give us more insights from his experience. He runs a wonderful institution called as Tea Talkers. Maybe somewhere I would request if Souvik can also talk about Tea Talkers. He can tell about his institution Jest. He is into corporate training. He has been training so many big time stalwarts, so many big corporates, whether we are talking about Tata, Indian Oil Corporation, so many prestigious companies. And I'm sure I every day keep watching his different achievements. And of course, we have been good friends, and that is how we are today connected. So welcome, Souvik.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here today.
Yeah. And we also have Sanjit Basu. Sanjit is, of course, a very old acquaintance of mine. I have been knowing him for more than 2 decades, and we have been sharing almost the same passion. Mr. Sanjit is entrepreneur. He's a trainer, motivator, but I think he's a warrior, if I say, because a warrior of his own means, a soldier who has always thought of leaving the war with his gesture of fighting back, a strong self-esteem, lot of perseverance every time the odds have come in his life. He has always tried to turn out those odds as a triumph for him. Every time I look at Sanjit, I see that every time the life has given him the odd things, he has always made a beauty out of it. So I think this is how Sanjit has always explored his life throughout, whether it is the start of his Pinnacle Academy, whether his e-modules, he's nowadays working on some online tutorial programs, which is going to start very soon, of course, under the flagship of PMA. And he's also going to start his international training program, which we are also discussing these days. So I welcome Sanjit today for this wonderful session, and I'm sure with your insights of public speaking, soft skill, your knowledge of handling people, I think those who are in the business of people or people connecting, I think they really could relate that how much important it is this day to see people positive. You know, most of the time I wonder, Souvik, I always see people talking about being positive, motivating, inspiring, but I think all these things can only happen when you can think good about yourself. Because what I believe is that the seed of goodness or the seed of positivity, the only comes when a person is really putting up that effort to believe that you are really good. Because most of the time I have seen that people are not having the belief in themselves that they are good or they really can do something. So today, if I see the crisis we are creating on ourselves, we are imposing the doubts on ourselves, we are imposing the negativity without knowing that we are really doing that. So I think that is one of the biggest reasons why people are getting handicapped. They're really getting into a kind of a cocoon and they cannot come out. And maybe sometime, unfortunately, in their lifetime, they cannot even come out of this cocoon, or maybe probably they couldn't realize that the positivity which is lying just in front of them, which would have been easily seen or felt, they have never even experienced it. So it's a pity. So I would request today Sanjit to open up this session with his thoughts on this particular topic. You know, this is something which we have always been amazed, and you know, you being trainer, I'm sure you connect with people and you always been asked by people that how to become positive. So, Sanjit, what exactly do you think is the relevancy of this topic? How to live 365 days of a year positively? Is it just something, a kind of a gimmick which we are talking about? Or it is really possible to live 365 days with full positivity? What are exactly your thoughts? You can unmute yourself.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me in this wonderful platform. So, this particular topic, that how to remain positive 365 days, that is all every day of the year, and the relevance of this topic is absolutely needed. We cannot deny the fact that it is not needed. If somebody wants to be successful in their life, this being positive is very, very important, that I believe. And first of all, I would like to say one thing. There is a old age anecdote, that is, a glass half filled or a glass half empty. So whenever we try to judge somebody, that are you positive or are you negative towards your perspective, towards your belief? So we always try to give this example. So all of us know that. But really, if somebody wants to know that that person is negative or positive, because first of all we have to identify the person is positive or negative or not. So what I do, that what kind of thoughts comes in your mind, that is very, very important. Every time we have thoughts in our mind, every time some positive thoughts, some negative thoughts. The fact is that if the number of positive thoughts are more, then definitely that person is a positive minded. And if the negative thoughts are more, then there's a negative minded. So there is nothing like half filled glass or half empty glass. That doesn't prove you that whether you are positive, whether you are negative. Somebody may say that okay, it's a half filled glass, but all the time he has that thought of negative thoughts coming in his mind all the time. And the one thing is also that it's a self-talk. Self-talk is also very, very important, that what kind of talks you are having with yourself, not with others. What kind of talks you are having with yourself, whether you are having negative talks with yourself or whether you are having positive talks with yourself. So this is very, very important when you try to remain positive. So first you have to identify whether you are having a positive mindset or a negative mindset. So once you are done with that, once you have identified, I'm having a negative mindset, all the times I'm negative, thinking are negative. So
I have a question, sir. I just want to interject you here. I just want to know, the audience would be watching this video. I'm sure a lot of youngsters and I'm sure a lot of seasoned professionals. We all really follow a lot of motivational lectures on a daily basis. And we all know that positivity is something which is very temporary and it can again go away. And then the next moment you can have a negative feeling. So how exactly to ensure that the trail of positivity remains in the mind long? Of course, I'll come to Shobik for that. But I want to know, since you are talking about that we need to have a good number of positive thoughts in our mind, but how exactly do you think, or how you really practice it? Okay. How you ensure that the trail of positivity, say you are very positive right now, how will you ensure that the next week, which is going to come in front of you, you are going to continue the same consistency?
Okay. So it's a very interesting question you have put. It's really important that how you should remain positive all the day. So once you finding purpose of one's life is again very, very important. If you don't have the purpose of your life, that what you want to do or what you want to achieve in your life, if it is not clear, then it is really difficult to be positive all the day. It is really difficult. Once you identify your what you want to do or what is your purpose of your life, and then you start doing that, then you'll see that every day you are trying to do something positive to achieve that goal. And you remain positive. There is no question of having negative thinking, because once you start thinking negative, then you are just shifting away from your purpose. This is
Perfect.
very, very important.
Understood.
So once you find your purpose, and then you go for it each day with a positive mindset, and then you'll see that things have started happening. Okay. Now, if I give my example, as I was talking with Mr. Sovik, that I always wanted to be a speaker, and I always wanted to do that. But being in North Bengal, I was not having that platform or opportunity to do that. So I was little out of focus, or I was not having that platform that where I can explore it. So once I got that purpose of my life, I will be a trainer, or I will be a teacher, or I will be a motivator. So then I got my purpose, and then now I'm doing every day to achieve my goal. And
I get you.
So that makes me positive each day. Whenever I get up in the morning, first thought comes in my mind that what I'm going to do today, how I can contribute, or the seminar I'm going to conduct, or the workshop I'm going to conduct, how I can give my best. So that gives me the motivation, or that gives me the positivity. Okay, so this is very, very important.
So what I understand, Mrs. Sanjit, you are trying to say that positivity is just like a byproduct. So you do something and you get the byproduct that you remain positive. So with that note, I just go to Mr. Sovik. And of course, Sovik, I would like if you can just say a few words about yourself and your movement, what you have started, and then you can gradually put more light into that, because knowing you is also getting an inspiration for our speakers. I would welcome Pushpendra. Pushpendra, hi Pushpendra. We met just during a business meet, and that is how Pushpendra follows. Pushpendra works for an IT company. He is with a project in Oracle. Pushpendra, welcome to the show. I'm sure you will get a lot of nuggets of positivity if you keep listening. We have our two talented speakers today, so we are going to listen to them. Yes, Mr. Sovik.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
First
stay
of
tuned.
all, thank you so much, and I would like to welcome Pushpendra as well in this talk show. And before I talk about myself and what I do, I would just like to take on how Sanjit has ended. He was talking about a half-filled bottle, half filled with water and half empty. So a positive person who looks at the bottle, which is half filled with water, will always think that bottle is completely filled. A part of it is filled with water and the other part is filled with air. So that's the difference of the perspectives, how people see a half filled. Negative person says it's a half filled, a positive person will say it's half empty or whatever. But a person who's always positive will always see the bottle as completely filled up. Positivity is a choice. How you lead your life, it's a choice. The only thing that we can't choose is our birth and death. But the rest of the thing that we choose in life are all on us, depends on us, how we want to live your life. In a room where you are sitting right now, I'm sure there are radio frequencies. And if you have a FM chip in your phone, you can definitely tune into a station which is playing some happiest song of the year, or maybe a station which is playing some frustrating song of the year. So it's your choice which station you want to play and you want to hear. So in this world, in this time, in this era where we are living, in Sanskrit we call it Kali Yuga, we have a mix of sensations and emotions and mixed way of living of people. But it is our choice what we exactly want to achieve and how we want to achieve from these things. It's very important for us. Life is a manifestation of our thoughts. How we manifest life treats us like that. So on this manifestation itself, every one of us who are currently on the Zoom platform right now, every one of our life is a manifestation of the past. The status that we are here today, the life that we are living now, is a choice we had made in the past. So how I want to live in the next 365 days and beyond will be the choices I make today. So these were the choices we made, rather I made 10 years back when I left, and I thought of doing of my own. And it was not that I was not a successful job. I was absolutely a successful job in 2006, 7, 8, and all those years. And in those years, I was getting a very handsome salary coming from a Bengali middle class family. It was a very tough decision to, leave that practice of getting your credit every 30th of the month and come out of that practice and yourself mentally ready that from the next month, this 30th of month, you will get the SMS of your bank getting credited. So it's a tough choice. But again, as I said, we have to take some choices of life. And that is how I took the choice. I quit my job. I've left a very handsome salary I was drawing from my previous company, and I started off with something of my own because I wanted to talk to people. Because from my childhood, I always loved talking. I had been into elocution. I had been into recitation and all these things from my class 2 and class 3. So it's been a practice of 30. Those days it was a practice of almost 22 years of practice. And I somewhere thought, okay, let me talk to people and let me make this as my profession. And that's the reason I've quit. But again, when I've quit, the first 1 year was absolutely a tough task for all of us. I'm sure Sanjeet has also faced, and I'm sure when you said Sanjeet that he's one of the warriors, and the war doesn't end for any one of us.
You too.
Yeah, it's all of us. That's what I say. War should not end for any one of us.
Absolutely.
Life is a struggle, and we need to struggle till the end of this life.
Exactly.
I never pray to God that stop my struggle, because the moment you stop struggling, you get into a comfort zone. And the moment we move into a comfort zone, every small talents that we have acquired through life, everything ends up. And also, talents are sustained, talents are retained. We are strong. So, and the moment you struggle, you innovate. You try to come out with more ideas. You come out with more ways which you can implement. And this Tea Talkers was one of the innovation. I started my corporate training company in 2012 end almost. I registered in 2013 January. And then 2017, we were sitting in an office and we were discussing like what more we can do in corporate training, because those days corporate training was getting integrated. Trainers coming up, showing just PowerPoint, bullet points and giving gyan to the people, which I somewhere felt that it's not the corporate training should happen, And trust me, I still, till today, I get a lot of people, a lot of CVs of trainers with 22, 23, 25 years of experience. When I start talking to them, I don't feel like talking more than 5 minutes. So that's the unfortunate part of this, But still, the good part is that there are people, and this is an industry which will never end. There will be no saturation ever, because whatever AI is brought in, whatever machine learning will be brought in, without people, companies cannot work. True. Technology can't be driving companies' soul heart. It can't be possible. So people have to be brought in, and if people are brought in organizations, we will be alive trading them always. So, and that is why Tea Talkers was brought in. Why Tea Talkers? Because this was one of the reasons we thought that we need to do something more. In every corporate training session, I'm sure all of you, Mr. Das, Mr. Basu, you have also experienced this. In a corporate training session, people become very, even if they want to break the ice, they can't, because they're sitting in front of their colleagues. So even if they want to talk something personal, they will not, because there's a shell that they create. And when the session ends, they come up to us and they ask me, "Sir, can I get your number? I want to call you. I want to ask you about something which is very important about my daughter, about my wife, about my husband." So we give our numbers, and then they call up and they talk about personal things. That was that made us understand that 2017, we should start with something where people can talk without being judgmental. And that is why Tea Talkers was from. It's a platform where we meet in a cafe. Because why cafe? Because cafe is a place where people are absolutely casual. They talk informal and they can be themselves. So the cafe was the venue that we, and it's various cafes. So we choose a cafe in 1 month and we tell the cafe owner that I want to use cafe for 2 to 3 hours. Whatever rent you want to take, you can take it from me. And I call up people. So we have a Facebook where people know about these sessions. called Tea Talkers. We announce the next session dates and venue in the group, and people come up. The good part is that why we have never thought of ending it. It was not giving us good amount of business, if you say. We were not earning from it. We still don't earn from it, but still continuing, because the same way PMA has been started up by we should have a purpose of life, and the only purpose of life should be to make others happy. Because the moment we keep on making others happy, the law of karma works very strongly. Somewhere the happiness comes to us in a very reverse manner. So somewhere we are also self-centered, doing this. Somewhere we try to get those happiness getting back from people. And that's the reason we do this. And that's the reason we are talking now. People who will be watching us maybe after this through your YouTube channel, even if they get 1% benefit out of this session,
Absolutely.
that is our success. So that is how Tea Talkers was born. And since it's a very unique idea, we got a lot of coverage from the media. Whosoever friends I have in my media, I just called them and I said that this is the concept I'm doing. Do you like to cover me? And at one shot they came up. Today, we've never made a paid promotion for this, not a single penny. And they never wanted also, because this is such a unique idea. And in today's digital world, in today's social media world, this is something where we should be focusing on. We have forgotten to talk. If you go back to 90s and 80s when we were young, and 70s, every friend's birthday, we were there at the friend's home from the morning, right? But fast forward 2022, 23, or maybe 2020, just send us ID and the job is done. So I'll not say this is bad, but I'll say we have got connected. We have become more social, but we're virtually social. Physical social engagements have reduced. Now the question of positivity exactly comes here. Even if we are virtually social, I'll give an example. If you see reels, the reels that are made, you will see those reels which have got maximum viewership doesn't have meaning. There's no purpose of that reel. But still why it is good, because watching that reel, people are feeling positive, somewhere maybe releasing their stress. We are so stressed out that watching those reels is somewhere pulling down our stress level for those few moments or for those few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So somewhere I think positivity is a practice after we choose to practice. So I think it's a practice, the way we practice eating, the way we practice, talking to people, the way we practice our work. Positivity is something where we need to keep on practicing every morning. As Sanjit said, like waking up in the morning and thinking that, wow, this is a great day that I have. And I would like to thank God in the morning that I have woken up this morning. There are so many people who did not even know last night that they'll not wake up next day morning.
Cool.
So, that sense of gratitude is very important for every human being who thinks that the positivity is a way of life. I think that is where we should be mainly focusing on, living 365 days a year. And again, whosoever comes up to me and asks me like, I have a problem, how can I solve it? I said that, sorry, I can't solve your problem. In fact, nobody in this world can solve a problem. The problem gets solved of its own. You should just hold on to the time. You should just hold on to your patience.
Exactly.
The problem will automatically go away, because the depth of the problem which is with you from day one will not be the depth which will of the problem on the day 10th.
Mm-hmm.
Depth of the problem will reduce, because your mind which is focusing on the problem on the first day will not be the same mind will be focusing on the problem on the 10th day.
Right.
So automatically you will not feel bogged up with that problem gradually over time. So I think that is where we need to practice. This is a few of the things to choose and practice in life.
Mm-hmm. I'll be very thankful to you if you can just also give more information on this positivity. And we are really inspired. First of all, I should admit the story of Tea Talkers. In fact, I'm partially aware of that, and I know that what exactly the struggles which you have come across, and really, a great achievement which you have made. Today, you are so visible in the corporate arena. You are having world-class brands with you, and you are really facilitating, making a difference. I would quickly introduce to our speakers today who have joined in late. We have Chris Otera. Christopher is basically from Nairobi. We have Julio. Julio is from Guinea Conakry. So if you can just turn on your video and say hi to us. Julio is working for MTN Telecom and MTN Mobile Services. Hi, Julio. And we have Christopher also as well. All right.
Hello, good evening, all.
Yeah, good evening. Thank you. So stay tuned. We are going to discuss something more on positivity today, and I'm sure you would be loving that. And there'll be a lot of takeaways at the end of this session. So we are trying our best that you can get some more takeaways so that you can ensure that the next few days of this year, of course, we are just in October. So naturally, we are going to have 2 more months. But of course, you have a strong resolution for the new year coming up. So that is what we will
and the new year is just on the door.
Yeah. So, Mr. Sanjit, I just quickly come back to you. Since we have listened to Souvik, who basically have given a wonderful explanation of your half-filled glass and half-empty glass, and with that also he shared his experiences of life, which is really so important for us. I would like to know, Sanjit, what exactly do you think are the barriers for a normal person? Maybe the person is a student or any other. Maybe the person is a professional, but why exactly? Despite of really looking into all these things, we still get into the momentary negativity, or sometimes we get into some depression, and still we know consciously that we should be positive. But when the situation finally you are facing, you actually become helpless, and you actually are bound to become negative because that situation is like that. So have you faced some situation? I want to ask you a question like why it happens. Of course we know why it happens. That is how we are emotional intelligence is going to work. But I just want to know that you imagine a student who is facing his teacher and he has not prepared his studies, or recently we have seen the unfortunate death of that Calcutta boy in the Jadavpur University, where exactly the family was, and I'm sure like all the parents and all the young kids who are going to get admitted in college, they were having that fear. And they might try to live or be positive, but that fear will come, that negativity will come. So how exactly one can really overcome that situation? And you have something for them. What exactly do you think we can do that time?
Okay. So what I think to overcome this kind of problem, that fear psychosis, or maybe some fears are there, that some negative, some previous experience, negative situation. So that that particular thing, will always, will knock you, always. But the as a human being, as a strong character, one has to overcome this problem. This is there lies the thing in strong character. One has to build a strong character within. Like if I know, as you told me that whether I have faced such problems in my life or not, I have faced this kind of problem numerous times, not once, not twice, thrice. Numerous times I have faced this kind of challenges. But recently the challenge I faced, that COVID-19, as all you know. Okay. So COVID-19 was really a bad experience for all of us. But what I believe is that is a good experience for me, because I found something positive in that. Now you can ask me that what is the positivity in COVID-19? Everywhere people are dying, people are jobless, there is a depression, there is something like that. But that time I just I got a time for self-realization. This is a very, very important part played in that period, that I got a time to reflect on myself, that what I am doing or what I am going to do. I got a time. If there were no COVID-19, this thing would not have been possible. The thing we are doing, basically, if you think that after COVID-19, everybody started doing this kind of activity, like called Zoom application, then Google Meet. So these things started becoming more and more into our everyday life. So this is also a positive thing. You can say that it is the positive thing of COVID-19. If there were no COVID-19, and things would have happened, but maybe
Here I just want to interrupt you by asking one thing. So you were trying to say that there are always certain situations for which we always find an alternative or we find a remedy. Of course, that is a I think one of the oldest instinct of human being, that we always find a survival strategy. So we definitely have found. But I think I would like to go to Souvik asking this question, that what do you think? Like, I personally, what I believe, I would tell you, like, I believe that whenever we have such situations, we need something more stronger, not only the survival strategies, but I think something which is very strong, on which we can incline and we can rely on. Maybe I do what I will share with you. Like, I believe I think Sanjit touched upon, he was very close to that, but I think that is what he's trying to say, that we should have a belief system. Like, when you switch on a computer, you always know that the computer is going to function because it has a software. So human beings also have a belief system. So the belief system, when it is more stronger and when you are more grounded and you know exactly there is something, maybe I call this a spirituality. I'm sure like you also would agree. So when you are really connected to the spiritual realm, and when you really have your beliefs very clear, and you know that what you are doing, it is very clear in your mind, and your value system, or maybe from your core of your belief, you are very much strongly grounded, you never get shattered or you never get disoriented, if I would say. So I would like to know from Souvik, what exactly are really your thoughts on this? How do you think? How exactly a common man or a person like a student or a professional, you imagine a professional who is getting bashed by his boss. Okay. So here we have a lot of professionals from different countries, from Guinea, a person joining from different other countries, India. So what exactly do you think? So, the bashing of bosses across everywhere is the same. So how exactly one can stay positive in such situation? Yeah, Souvik, over to you.
Yeah, so it's like living life like a chicken.
Yeah.
So when you see a chicken having its food, you will not find that only this food is there. There are a lot of other dirty things which are around the food. Chicken just goes to the food and it just picks up its food.
Absolutely.
It just ignores the dirt. What are the things which are not to be eaten. It just picks up the food in its beak and it just swallows it.
Right.
So positivity is again that food which needs to be picked up from all the negative things that are there around. Now, talking about the practical life that we are facing these, IT professional, Pushpendra, and all other people, or maybe a student, or maybe someone who's into entrepreneurship, we face struggles and negativities every moment.
Yeah.
But ask me, if you can think like a chicken, if you can see things like a chicken, every negative things carry something positive. As Sanjit just said, out of the COVID situation, he found something positive as well. So it's the same perspective. Exactly, this is where the thought of spirituality comes in. A lot of people who have a misconception of spirituality think believing in God is a spirituality. No, believing in God is not just spirituality. A person who's absolute atheist can be an absolute spiritual person. Okay, so spirituality
Here
is
I
a
just want
science.
to come here. I just remembered. I read that Swami Vivekananda once he said that, that someone who actually say that he is a theist, he who is confident about himself. So I think the biggest religion is the belief in yourself and being self-confident. So if you are self-confident, then you are theist. And if you don't have a confidence in yourself, you are an atheist. I think that is what I think is true.
Exactly. And this belief that we are talking about, that you just said, from where does this belief come? There is a difference between belief and trust. And the main difference here is that trust is subject to be broken, but belief never breaks down. From a child who is born, say for example, a small baby is born yesterday, is brought home to, and when this child grows up in the family, how does it child create that belief on his father and mother? How does this child create a belief on his family? The belief comes from the ecosystem that this baby is brought up. The belief comes from the moment that baby cries, the family members puts the baby on the mother's lap, telling that baby, okay, you want to have milk? Now go to mama. She will feed you milk. So he understands, okay, this lady will always feed me with food throughout my life.
Absolutely.
I have a belief on this lady that no matter what happens to me in my life, I can always come back to her for my food. So that belief, which will never be broken. Maybe that child doesn't stay with his mother for the last 10 years now. There may be situations, there may be possibilities that the child is not staying with his mother for the last 10 years. But the belief is not broken. He can always go back to his mother and sleep on her lap. This is where belief comes in. But trust is subject to broken because trust is experiential. We have a trust. I have my trust on my wife, but that is subject to be broken. Something can happen that I may break that trust. I had my trust on my previous company where I was working, but that trust is broken now because I have come out. I have put down my paper, I have given my resignation, and I've come out of that company. So the trust is broken, but the company is a good company. So this is where the spirituality comes in. Spirituality only works on the belief system, not on the trust. And no matter what happens in life, if belief is broken, then spirituality doesn't work.
True.
And spirituality is basically that strength of empowerment that we can practice every day and every moment. There is no particular timing of practicing spirituality. The moment we are talking, this moment, I think it is around 20 India right now, and various timings around the world. At this moment, the people who are watching me and the people with whom I am talking, we all are connected through a solar plex. Just the body is different. Just our the families are different from where we are brought up. Just that our culture is different, but we are all connected as humans. So tomorrow, if something happens on the mankind, if something is destroying the mankind, the entire time will fight against it. That is where we are connected. That is where COVID. That is what COVID has taught us. I remember during the second wave of COVID, we were using social media as a positive platform. Why? Because in Kolkata, in Bengal, out here, what happened? There were scarce of beds. Whenever there was we found there is a patient who needs some oxygen or needs a hospitalization. I don't know that person, but every one of us, we struggled so that we can find one bed, one oxygen cylinder for that person. I don't know him. Who is he? I've just seen on the Facebook.
Absolutely.
That
what I understand, Souvik, is like trust is something which is more of the conditioning or more of which we can get within ourselves from a system or which we can carry on in the life. So
we get through our experiences.
So what I understand that for the takeaway for our people is like you need to first of all make sure that you have a very strong belief system, and that can be aligned or supported by the spirituality or the belief system which has always brought you this far. And there is a saying in Bible that God has brought you this far, so He is going to not take you also further. So don't think He's going to sink you. So I'm sure like this is a faith which we should all believe in, and trust is something we should all bring in ourselves. I'll quickly ask maybe our audience today, Julio or maybe Chris or Pushpendra, if they have any questions. We have only 10 minutes left for this entire session. So if they have any questions to our speakers, to Mr. Sanjeet or maybe Mr. Souvik.
Yeah, so I have this question, like as Mr. Souvik and Mr. Sanjeet, first of all, thank you so much for giving us the, insights as to how we can remain positive throughout the year. That is the 365 days, because that is very much important for any of the individual out here. And so I have this question wherein, let's say, positivity is something, let's say today I'm feeling very positive about my work, about my professional career, but tomorrow might be the day when it comes that I'm feeling very negative about myself and also the job which I'm performing. So at that point of time, what should be my what should I do at that point of time to make myself away from that and get into a positive zone again? Because I know that things are not working out for me, and the things are going out from my hand. So what should be my things which I should do in order to come back to the same situation of positivity. Because I might read some books, I might go and see some motivational videos, something of that I can do, but that is not a permanent thing. Again, I might come into a negative zone. So how should I work upon that? That is something which I would like to ask.
Absolutely. So it is a very good question, and I'm sure who would like to take on, Sanjit or Mr. Sovik?
Maybe before they take the question, may I ask?
Okay, Mr. Chris.
Yeah. Also, just to ride on what my colleague has talked about.
Can you turn on your camera, please, sir?
Okay. Just a minute. So, how do you develop self-confidence in situation whereby maybe you've gone through disciplinary process, or you've gone through some bad appraisals, and this one now brings a lot of you feel like you're not confident about yourself, you're not confident about the job, and therefore negativity starts coming into yourself. How do you rebuild your self-confidence?
Okay. So maybe the first question can be answered by Mr. Sanjit, and the second question I'll go to Mr. Sovik. Yes, Mr. Sanjit, please go ahead.
Pushpendra, you rightly said that how somebody can remain positive all the days. It's very, very important question, and it is very easy to say but difficult to practice. But what I do in my life, as I said, I had been into so many times negative zone, but I came out in the positive zone. What I do in my every problem has its solution. That is one thing one has to believe. Every problem has its solution, and one has to find the solution. So once you find the solution, there is no question of being negative. So you become positive. So the thing is that one has to believe that, as Mr. Premankut has said, belief system has to be very, very strong. So if you believe in yourself, so then you see there is no question of going into a negative zone. So first thing is that you one has to build up the character, one has to build up the personality, then you can face the challenge. There will be no negative zone, or there will be always you remain into the positive. So first thing is that make yourself strong, make yourself you have your belief system strong, make your belief system strong, and then you'll see nothing can really nudge you, nothing can really move you. So this is what I do every day. So I also, as you said, I also read a lot of books, I also watch a lot of motivational videos, and from them I also learn a lot of things, how they face the challenge, how they keep themselves positive, and that particular thing I practice in my life. That's all. So this is what I want to say.
I think I would like to add on here that, Pushpendra, everybody has to condition themselves. Like the food is for nourishment of the body. In the similar way, the positivity or the positive thinking or positive thought is like a nourishment for your mind, for your, as you said, that a personality grows only when you can feed positive things, right? So it's a choice, as Mr. Sovik has rightly said, that it's a choice which you have to make. That when you really have the choice in your life that I will get up in the morning, I'll do exercise, I will really do meditation. How many people can really stick to that? Every new year we have a resolution that we'll do meditation, but we don't do that. Maybe we play on the music of meditation and we just sleep on the couch. But ultimately it's not meditation, it's something else. So I think we have to be very honest to ourselves that what exactly we want. And if we really want to get into that position, we have to fulfill that. We have to be very sincere about it, sincere to ourselves, truthful to ourselves. You can cheat the world, but you cannot cheat yourself, isn't it? So I think that is what is very important. Okay, so Mr. Sovik, if you can take on quickly the question what Chris has placed.
Yeah. So I will whatever I answer to Chris, this will be applied to Pushpendra's question as well. So before I answer this, I would like all of you to just do one thing for the next 5 seconds. Okay, just close your eyes, and for the next 10 seconds almost, please do not think of a tiger's face. Do not think of a tiger. Now open up your eyes and tell me, what have you thought?
Yes.
What have you thought?
I thought that there was basically a tiger somewhere. because that is what I have not been thinking, and then the tiger is.
Yeah, because we can't control our subconscious. Exactly. We can't control our subconscious.
Yeah.
But it can be controlled through empowering our mind through meditation.
Yes.
So this answers Pushpendra's question and Chris' questions. Self-confidence, negativity are all the results of fear. Fear is that oil. When you pour it on water, it never dilutes with the water. It always stays on the top.
Absolutely.
So you need to have that spoon or that fork from where you can just take up that oil and throw it away.
Oh yes.
We can't stop our mind thinking. We can't stop our mind thinking negative, giving us negative thoughts, because we are not hardcore monks who have been practicing this for the last 20 years.
Exactly.
If you can do that, you will be coming out of these thoughts. But the kind of lifestyle we are into, the kind of food habit that we are into, food plays a very important role here. It is not possible to wash away negativities. So there may be days where you come up in the morning and think that my day will be very bad today. The moment you think, trust me, your entire world will be against you to make your day bad.
Absolutely. Because of how we think. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's the law of that's the law of attraction. That is the
exactly
the most truth of the world. The law of attraction. It is absolutely what we think. It happens with us. And
Mr. Sanjeev,
that is where Sanjeev, give me just 10 seconds more. Pushpendra, Chris, every one of you, building up self-confidence is actually empowering your mind. Our mind is so powerful. Our thoughts are so powerful that if you can enlighten that power within you through the art of meditation, through the art of yoga, the entire world will be for you to make it happen. And I have experienced this. I still experience it. And I know I will be experiencing it because I practice this every day. So if you can practice these smaller things of life through these smaller tools, the moment these negative thoughts come in, I'm sure that when I said, don't think of a tiger, the first thing that came up in your mind was tiger. Then you have thoughtfully tried to eradicate the image of the tiger and think something else. So you have the power of eradication. You have the power to remove that unwanted thoughts, right? But now if I tell you that think of an alien, everybody will have a different picture of an alien. Because your mind has already have a picture of some alien, or maybe it doesn't have any picture. So somebody whose mind does not have a picture will not throw any picture of an alien in your subconscious.
True.
Right? So if you can eradicate the entire thought of fear, it will never come up to you.
Yeah.
Any negativity.
And I just would like to quickly add on here what Christopher was trying to say, that somebody who basically has not got an appraisal and he is very demoralized, and someone is not being praised or recognized. I just want to add on here, of course, this is what you have said is very correct, that sometimes we create an invisible fear, some kind of unseen wall around us, which is always limiting us. But at the same time, I think more than fear is like we are suffering from some kind of, we are feeling an identity crisis, because we always, in this virtual world particularly, we look for a validation. So if your boss is not recognizing you, if your company has not given you the right appraisal or have given a justification for your job, or maybe you have done a wonderful thing, your boss has not even praised you, don't really worry about it, because you don't need anyone's validation. You are
you deserve much more than this. Yeah, absolutely.
I was just seeing somebody was wearing a t-shirt, and it was a message which is very, unfortunate. It was written like "Born to Lose." So I thought that who have ever thought of this message, and why this guy even have purchased this t-shirt and wearing it. So I think the first thing is like he himself in the mind is convinced by the idea that I can take it up, that I can want to lose. So, before we lose the battle, we actually lose the battle here in the mind. So it's a mind game. So when you are in front of your boss, and if you have not given you a raise, or he does not speak to you properly, but if you have lost the battle here, I'm sure you will be a chicken in front of your boss, and he's going to eat you up.
Correct. Absolutely.
So it's a choice which you make. You be an eagle or be a chicken. So, there was a story you all know, that a chicken, eagle's small, fell into a nest of a chicken, and it grew up as a prairie chicken. And suddenly one fine morning it saw an eagle flying and said, "Mama, what is that bird?" She said, "Don't look at it. It's an eagle. You cannot ever become an eagle." So most of us actually were made to believe that we cannot do that. We have a lot of limitations. You are not the right one. You cannot have that potential. But we actually can do those unseen and unthought things with our sheer determination, dedication, and discipline. Self-discipline, which is very important to live positively throughout. I'm sure like all of you will agree. Yes, Sanjit, you want to quickly come in? If you can say something, maybe we can conclude after that. Yes. You are on mute. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to say something, about Pushpendra. Just it came in my mind that how you can stop being negative. So one story or one anecdote is there. Analogy is very good analogy that you cannot stop a bird flying above your house. You cannot stop a bird flying above your house, but you can stop that bird making a nest in your house. Okay.
Very true.
So so the thing is that you cannot stop being negative. The thoughts will come definitely, but don't let it enter into your mind.
Absolutely.
Negative thoughts would be there definitely. You cannot stop it, but don't let it enter into your mind.
Yes.
So that is what I want to say. Okay, thank you.
A big thumbs up. Thank you so much. Julio is there. Julio, if you can just tell us, how is your experience? Like you were there, and I appreciate that he is in a 4 hours time difference from Dubai, and then he's at least 4.5 hours time difference from India. So Julio, what is the time there in your country?
It's 3 p.m.
3 p.m. Okay, wonderful. Yeah. So Julio, how you're finding this entire session?
So for me, if I can wrap up all intervention quickly, I can say that living positively is an ongoing journey, and it's not only because we failed to set, we failed in some goals today, and then we must be broken, feel bad, but we must have hope for tomorrow, a better tomorrow, and then to have strength to face challenges of the next day. Embrace the experience, learn from them, and continue to strive for balance and fulfillment in our role as a professional, as a father, as a husband, as a friend, as a colleague. And then, as Chris said, you must find strength inside of you to have self-confidence. And also, for me, I say that you must celebrate all your achievements. This strengthens self-confidence. It's a step. So you can't have the whole package. Go with it step by step, celebrate it step by step, and you will reach your goals and live a positive life during the year.
Thank you, Julio. Yeah. Let me just say quickly that Julio is also a trainer. He used to give training to his group in his area of profession, and I'm aware of that. So thank you so much, Julio, for your contribution. So, and thank you so much. Yeah, thank you for joining us. So I think we have really understood that we should celebrate the small happiness of our life. We have to understand that sometimes it is important for us to really pay regards to even the people who have really helped us be where we are today. And of course, a tree cannot be bigger unless and until we really understand the meaning of the people who have helped us come this far. So tree always becomes bigger because of the root which lies beneath it. So I think same thing applies in all our life, that our value system, it could be the ecosystem or the ethics, whichever we are talking about today. We cannot just become positive by thinking that we are actually doing something very miraculous or some kind of rocket science, it's all the choice which we made. As what has been already highlighted by our speakers today, the kind of choice, the approach which we have, like the last, I think the anecdote which Mr. Sanjit said, that the birds can hover around you, which could be the negativity, but it's us who have to make the right choice. We are really going to allow it to make a nest in our mind or not. So I think these are such good examples. So I'm sure we will continue our discussion in the similar way in the coming webinar. We would be back for our webinar just after our short vacation, because in India, I am sure like people are busy with the Navratra and all these things. So we'll be back after the Navratra with some good wishes before the Diwali. We'll be back for a webinar. Thank you, Mr. Souvik. Thank you, Mr. Sanjit, for your time and your wonderful insights which you have shared with our audience today. Thank you, Mr. Pushpendra, Mr. Christopher, Mr. Julio for joining. And of course, the people who will be watching this session after this webinar is over, because this will be again available in my YouTube channel. Tomorrow we'll be having a relay premiere of this entire show. I'm sure you can also forward this video to your dear and near ones whom you think that should get the nuggets of positivity. And I'm so much thankful to all of you for being here in this wonderful session today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a lovely
Thank you
evening.
so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.